What's up, everybody? So today we are working on the Civic once again. Now, as of recently, I've been driving this thing around and noticed a slight issue when it comes to the ignition. For some reason, whenever I go to shut the car off and pull my key out, the key likes to get stuck. You have to kind of jiggle it around for a little while before it actually releases. And upon doing a little bit of research on ways to fix that problem, I actually came across this company called Jordan Distributors. And they make a product, a push button start for the Civics and other generations of Hondas. So I went ahead, picked it up, and figured we'd go and try it out. I've seen other people that have used it before, and it looks pretty interesting. It helps modernize the interior, adds a security bonus, and in my case, eliminates the key problem. So I think it'll be a nice little upgrade. But here it is, here's the box. Let's go ahead, crack this thing open, show you guys what's inside, and then we go ahead and get on to the install. So here's everything that the kit includes. As you can see here, we've got the main box here that controls everything. Comes with 2 keys, as well as this RFID card, so you can use that whether you don't have the keys or you don't want to use those. You can use the card, put it on your phone case, or put it on your billfold or whatever, and then you can scan it. This is the piece that scans it. Then it comes with a wiring harness here, so this harness will go into the box here, and then you have the 2 pieces that go into the main harness itself with the car. And this is specific for my EK chassis, so if you have any other chassis, you can look online and they have other options available. And it also comes with the push button start, as well as a few other wiring pieces, which I believe this goes to the brake pedal, but there's a push button itself. That's what's replacing the ignition cylinder. They have other options available. I went with just the generic black one. Eventually I may upgrade to the silver or red one. I think I may go with red just because everything else on the interior of the car, the carpet, and a few other pieces that I'll eventually upgrade will be going red. So for now, this is everything the kit includes. We can go ahead, get into the installation. So first things first, we need to disconnect the battery. So now we'll come in here in the interior. We're gonna go ahead, pop off the steering wheel. I believe there's like 2 T30s that are holding on the airbag, and then there's a big 21 bolt back there or something. We'll figure it out once we get that out. Take the steering wheel off, like I said. Then this lower piece has to come off. So there's 1 Phillips screw there, and then there's another one in that far back corner underneath the dash. Once that's out of the way, we remove the clamshell around here, which is another 2 or 3 more Phillips screws. And then we'll have access to the ignition cylinder and then go from there. So let's go ahead, get this stuff all off and out of the way. So that bolt was a 19mm, got the steering wheel off. As you guys saw there, nothing was really hooked up for it. That's just the old EM2 steering wheel. The car came with like a junky aftermarket wheel with a hub that wasn't like quick release or anything. So that's why that wasn't connected. So now that that's off, we can go ahead, get this lower panel off and get this clamshell removed. And from what I've seen online, apparently you don't have to remove the steering wheel, but in my case, it just gives me a little bit more extra room and it's quick, easy to take off the steering wheel. So let's go ahead and get the rest of it out. Got a little bit of janky wiring down here. Not really sure what that all goes to. We'll figure that out here in just a second though. We'll get that off next. Okay, so now all that plastic trim's out of the way. We gotta take out that 10mm bolt there, and then there's another 10mm back there. And there's kind of a mess of wiring down here. I don't know if somebody had like an old security system in this. You guys see on that old panel there was like a switch there. So I may remove that just off camera here. And yeah, there's like a weird box and stuff down there already installed. So yeah, we'll get this brace out of the way. I'll take care of this wiring mess, and then we'll go back to getting that push button installed. So what you guys just saw is me take that brace off, and then underneath here there's a bunch of old wiring. I'm assuming it's like somebody's old security harness or something. It was cut up, it was mangled, it was a mess. You can see here there's still some old like wire hanging off of there, but this harness is what's getting replaced, so I wasn't too worried about it. There was just a bunch of stuff. I'll show you guys here what all got removed. Yeah, it was all of this stuff. So you can see here there's some kind of box, fuses, relays, just a bunch of junk. So now that's all removed out of the car, we can go ahead and continue on here with this JDI push button start. So I think next up we'll go ahead get behind here to remove the ignition cylinder here. So we can go ahead and continue on. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. It just makes it easier for me to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. We got to get these, I guess they're called like tamper-proof screws out of here. Basically what I saw them do is they just took like a chisel and just kind of tapped around to break those loose. So yeah, that's all we're going to try to do is just take a chisel and a hammer, try to hit it so it twists off, and then this whole lock or this ignition cylinder can come out. And then we got to remove, so you see this harness here. I need to grab my light, but there's a brown plug there. And then there's another plug right here. I'll grab my light after we get this out and show you exactly what it is. It's just those two wires, and then this whole assembly will come out. So just like that, a few hits with the chisel on each side. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll just kind of tap around. You can see they spin pretty freely. So I should just be able to be loosened by hand. It's off. So that's good. You can see this is just hanging here. So now what I gotta do, like I said, is unplug those two brown wires. So it's this connector here. And this connector here. And now this whole piece should be able to just slide through. And there you guys have it. So now that we got that out of the way, we can go ahead and start installing the JDI push button start pieces. So now we can go ahead and install the wiring harness that comes with the JDI kit. So you can see there's the same two brown plugs. We're just going to replace those. And it comes with this ground wire, which we're going to attach to that bracket that went over top of all of this. So once we get that installed, we can mount that onto there. But for now, we'll go ahead and install these two. Next, we can go and throw this brace on. So now that'll be back in place. And then this ground wire here, we're just going to connect it to where this bolt goes. So back there like so. So now we have the brace on, we got the wiring sitting in here. We can go ahead and move on to the next one, which is this green wire here. This goes to the brake pedal. Comes with this little quick connector here. It's like a quick splice, and then you can connect this tip into there, into here. I'll show you guys once we get that installed. But like I said, this goes to the brake pedal. So there's a little connector way up here above the brake pedal. Let's see if I can move you guys here so you can see. This one right here, that little plug, there's a dark green wire on there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, if at all. But I got to put the splice on there, and then we can plug in that green wire, and then that can run into the Jordan Distributors box that comes with the kit. And just like that, it's connected. It's kind of a pain to get to, but it's in now. So now I got all that wiring installed. Next up is the push button and the little sensor here. So basically what they show is they put the sensor on the back side of this, and it looks like there's pretty much electrical tape it to the back. And then as far as the plug goes, or the not the plug, the push button, it just goes into the original keyhole. So we should be able to run it through there and be good to go on that. So let's go ahead, get this stuff all wired up. So we got that secured there on the back side of the panel. We got our push button started, and now everything should be good to go. We just got to plug it all in the box and tuck the box up somewhere and keep it hidden and away, and then we can go ahead and reinstall all this, get into the car, and test out and see if this works. So I was trying to finish up this job. I was getting the box all connected. As you guys can see there, got our clamshell and stuff here with the push button. The only thing I ran into, as you guys can see, there's two holes here and here, which the clamshell mounted onto the steering column, and what that went to was the ignition cylinder itself. So you guys can see there, I went ahead, put the ignition cylinder back on You can see there, it's all hauled out, it's all emptied. There's no locks, there's no nothing on it, so it can't be done. The tumbler's taken out. I did save the tumbler, so if I ever decide to go back to a key ignition, we can reassemble this and put it back together. Not this one in particular. I'll have to get a different one because, as you can see here, this one's all drilled out and basically destroyed. But yeah, I do have the lock cylinder. I saved that piece so it matches my key. But yeah, that's just something to look forward to for you guys. If you don't want to have a floppy clamshell, you're going to need to utilize something or create some kind of bracket to make it work. So with that being said, we can go ahead, assemble all this stuff back together and see if the push start works. Okay, so I just went ahead and got the battery hooked up. We got everything kind of back together. I still have the box from JDI laying on the floor down there, but everything's just kind of together. Before we go ahead and completely finish this off, I want to go ahead and test out and make sure it works. So we'll go ahead and hop in here. Okay. Don't want to hit the box, so we get that out of the way. All right, so as you can see there, our push buttons there. Here's our little pieces here. So if I step on the brake, you can see that we got power. And now because this has a neutral safety switch, we're pushing the clutch. Hang on, let's try that again. Okay. Sweet. That's awesome. So now it is completely started. Neutral. That's sick. I just really like the color on that too, the blue. Cool. Well, that's good to know. So then go and shut it off. Perfect. I wonder. Okay, so it does the 2 beeps. So now it's in accessory mode. Okay, cool. So you can see the radio and everything works there. It lights up. Everything's lit up there. Push it again. And everything's off. Okay, so we got to have the 2 beeps. So if we get the 1 beep, that means it's not on. 2 beeps is on. Okay, cool. So that's awesome. Let's go ahead, assemble all this, get it back together, and make sure it still works once I get this all reassembled. So you guys can see here, we got the interior all put back together. We got the wiring and the box tucked away hidden now. So let's go ahead and test this out one last time, make sure everything works and still functional from before. So you can see there's the push start button. So if I go ahead and swipe it, this time we're using the RFID card. So I step on the brake, tap it once. Okay, that's accessory. You can see there, everything's lighting up. So now if I put my foot on the clutch, hey, there we go. That's awesome. This is so sick. So you can see there, we're running. We're good. Okay, so we'll go shut it off. Okay, so foot's got to be on the brake, and you got to push the button shut off. So you can't just hit the button shut off. So pretty much what we have to do: scan it, get the double beep, foot on the brake, you hit the button once. That's accessory. Now if I put my foot on the clutch and on the brake and hold it together, and then hold the button down, that'll start the car. But if I just let my foot off the clutch, foot on the brake, tap it once, there. So now it's off. Sweet. This is a pretty cool little design. Nice little modern touch for the Civic. I really like the way it looks. And definitely got rid of my issue with the key cylinder, getting it stuck in there and everything. Now the only upgrade that I did, that I didn't really show you guys too much of, was just disassembling the lock, or the ignition cylinder, just to make it so this clamshell will mount up nice. And you can see there it's nice and tight, not all floppy or anything. I don't know if you guys necessarily need to do that or can just make a bracket of your own. This is the way that I found that worked for me. And like I said, I still have the key tumbler itself. So if I ever decide to go back to a key ignition, we can still make one work. So with that being said, I think we're gonna go ahead and end out the video here. Hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, make sure you give a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more stuff coming. And I guess I'll leave you guys on this. Let me know what color you guys think I should do. Should I leave it this black with the blue ring, or should I upgrade to the red ring? Or the red button. I think the red will be nice because it matches in here with the interior. Maybe I'll do something with the doors too, but you can see I got the red carpets and everything. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, but otherwise I will see you guys in the next one.